Hi all, it's the 23rd of October 2022. How are you all doing? That is good to hear. We're looking down on Hurricane Roslyn, which is now approaching the Mexican coast at Category 3 intensity. The last advisory from the National Hurricane Center at 9 UTC did have the storm at 110 knots, that's Category 3, and that's 125 miles per hour, 1 minute sustained winds. Despite the filling of the eye, the major hurricane Roslyn is expected to make landfall at major hurricane intensity, so devastating damage is possible in areas that are occupied along the coastal regions. Let's check out the region. With the storm moving towards the coast like this, we're going to have those winds are turning around the storm like this, so very high waves and surge moving into Puerto Vallarta. That is probably already occurring. And then as we go towards the main coast, we've got areas like San Blas on the right side of the storm and Atacama that look to be getting the right side, maybe not directly in the core of the storm. And then the actual center of the storm passing over what looks like some kind of national park, Mayor Quinn. Beyond that, as the storm moves inland, it will of course weaken as it interacts with that dry air. But also look at these mountains, that it will tear the storm to pieces. Nonetheless, before that, the storm core will be passing over this plain, and I would suspect it will maintain Category 3 intensity at the coast and then weakening to Category 2 as it passes over these inland communities. Runoff from the mountain ranges down the rivers, flash flooding, landslides, all a potential concern. Let's take a look at perhaps our final look at the hurricane wharf simulation. This one was initialized at 0 UTC, October 23rd. So as the storm moves up, has moved already past, it's probably about this stage, you can see that the eye has filled in the satellite imagery, and we can see the weakening occurring as that storm interacts with, it has got a lot of land around a couple of quadrants of the system at this point. Nonetheless, it is still very strong in the model forecast but a little less perhaps than the National Hurricane Center has determined it to be. However, they flew a plane in and got a reliable record of winds that back up the fact that it is still Category 3 intensity. So the storm making landfall, in the model anyway, at probably around Category 2 intensity. But if it's underestimating the intensity, then that would be Category 3. And then it moves inland and weakens very rapidly over the mountains. The good news, if there is any, is that the fast movement of the storm does limit the rainfall potential a little bit, with totals in the GFS here approaching around 5 to 6 inches, it looks like, which is not astronomical, though obviously heavy rain, very heavy rain, and still danger for flash flooding if it all comes down in a short period of time. Sentinel-3 got another excellent pass. This was early on October 22nd. The other polar orbiters also caught good views of the storm. NOAA 20 VERS, Suomi NPP VERS, and the Aquamodis. If we zoom in, you can see the convection around the central dense overcast, vigorous convection with a somewhat hazy eye in the NOAA 20 VERS, and the other ones also when it was this intense in Category 4. So that is just a quick look at Hurricane Roslyn as it's approaching and making landfall. I suspect that storm surges already are ongoing along this coast, with maybe some focusing in the bays. And this plain, the plain area, which I think is around in here, maybe that is the area that looks like it will be impacted by hurricane force Category 3 at the coast, quite possibly, but then should be quickly down to Category 2 and Category 1 as the storm moves in and then weakens over the mountains. So thanks a lot for watching. I think we probably will be the last update on this storm, but there's more to come in the Bay of Bengal. So see you in the next one.